Good afternoon, everyone. It's David here. I've just got home. It's been a lovely day up at the fishery. Not very busy, but it gave us a chance to get some strimming done and some tidying up done. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. I want to tell you a story about something that happened in late July, early August, 5, 6 years ago at Ladaya. Fishing was, as it normally is at this time of year, tough to say the least. But I had the pleasure of meeting a Frenchman. Nothing unusual there. Ladaya attracts people from all around the world. We're very pleased to see them. But what got my attention was, firstly, he had this magnificent jet black bespoke rod. Just, it was a work of art, and let me tell you, I've never been one for rods, but this one really got my attention. The second thing was that he was just catching fish. I mean, he was catching more fish than I expected, than anticipated, than anyone else had. Even locals, regulars at the water, you know, they were struggling to get more than one or two out at that time of year. But he was just nailing them. And he wasn't just nailing fish in the margins, he was actually getting them further out. He was just absolutely smashing 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 pound fish. So I went up and asked him, what is it you're using? And he said, at first I thought there was something lost in the translation, because I could have sworn he said he was using a coffee bean. But that's exactly what he was using. Coffee beans. So let me explain it to you. Let me get a wee drop of them here for you. Right, I'll come over to the camera so you can see. The coffee bean. Let me see if you can see that in the camera. There you are, right. Half coffee beans, there you go. Just a single one. On the underside of them, you'll see they've got a groove right down the middle. I hope you can see that. They've got a groove right down the middle. What this gentleman had done was he'd wrapped the shank of his hook with dubbing or a couple of threads or something just to bulk it up. He then glued the hook into that groove and varnished the beetle, or varnished the bean. He actually painted the top of them like a ladybird. He painted it red with white dots, totally irrelevant. The fish are only ever going to see the bottom half with a hook. So a hook in here with dubbing on the shank, or a couple of threads on the shank to beef it out, glued into the groove, varnished the entire thing. What he had done was cut a couple of strips of fritz and just attached them to the base to imitate legs. And that was catching fish at a rate of knots that nobody expected. I didn't believe it was true until I got one off him, went out and had a go on it, and started catching fish. The thing about this is, one, it's completely organic, so if you get snapped off apart from the hook, you're leaving no trace. Two, I dread to think how many hundreds of thousands are in there in a packet of coffee. Other coffees are available, should I add. Tesco value will work, don't worry about it. But the amazing thing to me is how buoyant, how naturally buoyant these are. I've got some here. And I've got a glass with some water in it. I hope you can see this. I'll come to the camera for you just to be sure. But no matter how you throw your coffee beans in, they always land hook side down. And no matter how much wind or disturbance it gets, they never sink. It is an incredible thing. Let me come across. Look. You can't sink them. Maybe, you know, after 30, 40, 50 casts, or if there's a fish on it, shock horror, you might have to replace it. But look at that. And no matter how you literally mix it up, blow it, they float. And they float right side up. I thought it was genius, and a great example of how someone was finding the fishing difficult and came up with a method that costs pennies. Literally, I mean, how many flies are you going to get out of that? Why not give it a try? I'd be interested to see. If someone could make up a couple of beetles or ladybirds, come to Ladaya, I'll give you a free session and catch fish on it. Okay, so if somebody literally ties up a few of these, gets some coffee beans, attaches a hook, varnishes it, a bit of fritz and paints it up. The first person to do that and send me a decent photograph, I'll give them 4 hours catch at least to come and try it. And then we'll see how you get on. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Not only did he have a magnificent rod, but the coffee bean was just nailing fish. So I challenge someone out there to make me up a couple, post a photograph online, or to this video, And whichever one I think I like the most, it might not be the best, just the one that appeals to me the most, I'll offer that individual a chance to come to the diet with the team and 4 hours catch and release and see how well you get on with a coffee bean. If you've used it before, let me know. Comment in there whether you had success with it. I think it's incredible. I mean, really, a packet of coffee beans. You think how much things cost in fishing. I mean, flies are £1.50, £2 each for a small one, you know. The snakes are getting on for £3. Nylon's a mortgage. A fly line's a mortgage. A rod's a mortgage. Coffee beans, it must be... I couldn't even begin to value half a coffee bean. I wouldn't mind getting snapped off. I'd prefer to get snapped off with 2 or 3 coffee beans than 2 or 3 yellow dancers, that's for sure. Not that I would ever use a yellow dancer. But yeah, that's the challenge. Make up a couple of flies with the coffee beans. Post the photographs on this comment or comment on this video. Whichever ones I like the best. May not be the best looker, but it's whoever one appeals to me the most. I'll select that person and offer them 4 hours of the diet to come and show us just what they can do with that. Can't wait.